Hey, what's up, guys? So I was playing League of Legends today, and I was playing some Malzahar, and he felt really, really weak, and I wasn't really sure why. And not only did I get hard countered by the most stupid counter in the game. I'll explain more about that in a bit, but I actually didn't even know that they nerfed his passive uber hard. So at level 16, they doubled the cooldown on his passive, and so it used to be 6 seconds, and now it's 12 seconds, and it feels really nerfed. It just felt really nerfed, but that wasn't even the reason why I lost so badly. So check this out. Basically, the interaction that I found today, the dumbest interaction I've ever seen in the game, was Malzahar passive versus Nocturne ult. And whenever Nocturne ults, your passive gets procced. So for some reason, it counts as CC or damage. That's how it's coded in the game. Nocturnal is coded as CC or damage. It's always broken Banshee's Veil, but Malzahar passive, it's basically only supposed to proc if you take CC of any kind, like if you're slowed, if you're stunned or whatever, or if you take damage. And Nocturnal does neither of those. You can argue that the fact you can't see anything on the map is CC, but I would pretty much argue 100% against you, because the whole idea of CC is it's a slow effect, it's a stun, immobilize, some sort of CC effect. But it counts as a CC effect, his ult. So Malzahar's passive procs. So basically what ends up happening is Nocturne ults, right? Then he just ults onto Malzahar, drops the E, and then by that time, actually what Nocturne can first of all do is ult, then wait a couple seconds for Malzahar passive to completely go away, then ult on the Malzahar, so you get the damage from the Nocturnal. If you guys didn't know, Nocturnal actually does damage to whatever he's hitting just by using ult itself. So you wait a few seconds, you use ult on him, and then you just dumpster him. And there's really nothing you do as a Malzahar. The only thing you can really do is group up and hope that your team has a good amount of CC and your team can peel the Nocturne. But that is just probably the dumbest interaction I've ever seen, and it got me thinking, like, I don't know what else they're going to be changing in these patch notes. So what I'm going to do, you guys, every time they release patch notes, I'm going to go down the patch notes with you guys. I'm going to point out like some really important stuff, some not so important stuff, just pretty much everything. I'm going to go down the patch notes, and we're gonna check it out together, because this stuff is actually really important, because I lost the game today. I don't know if it was just because of the passive nerf, but it was definitely because of that Nocturne thing. So if you're a jungler and you see Malzahar on the enemy team, just play Nocturne and boom, free win. And without further ado, we're going to be going down the list and checking out some other stuff that they've done this patch and seeing what's up. Alright, so first thing is Braum Concussive Blows. When you get stunned, the damage is nerfed early on, but then it's buffed later on. So level 1, if you get stunned, you're going to be taking 14 less damage. Not a big deal, but it is something that's kind of there. Later on, it's going to be more damage, but you won't really notice it later on, because Braum won't be getting much magic pen, and late game people have a lot of magic resist, so yeah. Also, his Q damage early game was nerfed by a very small amount, 10 damage, which, I mean, could be the difference between a kill or not, but more likely than not, it won't be. The Corki passive package thing, you know, when Corki picks up his package, then he can fly around the map and stuff. That is reduced to 240 seconds, so a slight buff there. They ended up nerfing Hecarim by 3 base damage, which doesn't seem like much, but early game, especially when he's trying to jungle, 3 damage could be a big deal. Also, the damage of his Q is nerfed, so this is actually a pretty big nerf to Hecarim, who I didn't really think was all that strong, and I really haven't felt was all that strong. The only reason why I think he's strong is because of the Storm Raiders. How Storm Raiders works, basically, you hit someone really hard, and you get a bunch of movement speed, and then Hecarim gets more damage the more movement speed he has with his passive, so he gets more base damage, the fact that he's doing more damage. So that's kind of the interaction that he has, but I feel like if he gets a Hecarim, just play safe, scale late game, and he won't be able to kill people. The only problem with Hecarim is that in solo queue, everyone likes to just carry and everyone wants to be the star, so they play really like crazily, and Hecarim gets a lot of ganks off, and he ends up just getting like 10 kills early on. So against Hecarim, just play safe, and I think you'll be okay. Alright, so Jarvan's E got a buff, got a 5% attack speed buff level 1, which is a pretty big deal considering 5% attack speed. If you can just add that to your rune book, that would be a great thing. So having 5% more attack speed level 1 is great, and you can also give that to your teammate, whoever's leashing for you, and it will give them 5% more attack speed, which means a faster first camp, which is a great thing. And Karma's E got nerfed by about 10 damage. Yeah, it looks about 10 damage overall. The shield got nerfed, and then the bonus movement speed actually was nerfed pretty hard. So Mantra E now does 20% less movement speed at level 1. So yeah, something to know. Kassadin got buffed, I believe. Okay, so his level 1 Q got nerfed, but then his level 2 Q remains the same. His level 3 Q is now 5 damage stronger. Level 4 Q is 10 damage stronger, and level 5 Q is 15 damage stronger. So early game Kassadin's Q does slightly less damage, but late game it does slightly more damage. And then his Force Pulse damage, or the mana cost, was nerfed, which isn't really, you're not really going to notice that because your Force Pulse is only up so often based on how many spells are being cast or whatever. So, alright, so Nidalee's Q got buffed. The minimum damage got buffed by a bit. The maximum damage also got buffed. And then it looks like the Q got kind of buffed, I believe, early on. But then these are lower, or these are higher. This one's higher, but then this one's lower. So that's kind of weird. So the first 3 levels of her Q got buffed, but then the last one got nerfed. Like, I'm trying to read that. It's like, what the hell? But okay, that's apparently it. So the first 3 levels got buffed, last level got nerfed. I don't know. And then it's same here. Then the last level got nerfed, but then the first 3 levels got buffed. So yeah, but it's kind of weird though. If you look at it, like, it seems like the difference between this damage and this damage is really high. So I don't know. That's basically when she's in her Cougar form, her Q. So yeah, and then the ratio got buffed, it looks like. So AP Nidalee is stronger, and then the hunted damage, basically when you're hunting someone, is when you land your Q on them or you have your trap on them. There's a hunted effect, and when you hit them with your Q, your takedown, it does more damage. So yeah. The minimap no longer intercepts the cursor when Nidalee casts Pounce. So in other words, she won't jump in a random direction if the cursor... Oh, okay. So I guess that means if your cursor is down here, she'll still jump this direction. I think that's what it means. I'm not sure. I don't really know what this stuff does. Anyways, so Renekton's R got buffed level 1, I believe, and level 2, looks like. So 10 more damage per second level 1, which is kind of a big deal when you consider Renekton's early game was actually really, really strong. So level 6 Renekton is going to be hitting harder. 10 damage doesn't really seem like much, but it's per second. So if he sticks on you, then that's going to be a lot more damage. And then he gains 20 Fury on cast, so he'll be able to, like, say he's got like 30 Fury, and then he pops his R, then he just hits you with a stun, boom. I guess it's a little more burst, a little more kind of surprise damage, I don't know. And then they nerfed Shen's base health regen, which is kind of a big deal because Shen's laning phase, I've realized, is really, really weak now. It used to be strong, but I feel like they've made it really, really weak, especially against certain champs. He doesn't have the shield anymore. I mean, he does have a shield, but it's like really, really long cooldown, and it only blocks auto attacks. And he actually still has a shield with his passive, but it just doesn't feel like as strong as the old shield. So I like old Shen actually better than new Shen, but that was just my opinion. I don't know. Because I feel like he could survive the laning phase a lot easier, but now it seems like you get punished by some stuff. I don't know. Because you don't have much sustain is the problem. You have shields, but you have no sustain. And old Shen had a lot of sustain, which is what I liked about old Shen, but new Shen doesn't. So he's going to be even weaker now. I probably won't be playing much Shen. Okay, so correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe Shyvana's R passively generates more Fury. I'm guessing what this means is that when she doesn't have her R up, when she's not in like dragon mode, she is getting to dragon mode quicker. I think that's what it means. So yeah, personally, I think Shyvana is one of the weakest junglers in the game. Some people will disagree with me, but I just don't see Shyvana being playable. And then they nerfed Sona's W healing by actually a lot. Max rank is nerfed by 35, which is a huge, huge deal. But it still scales with AP, so AP Sona is still pretty strong. But the first rank heal was nerfed by 5. Second rank heal were nerfed by 10. I think it's 20. No, that one's 15. Yeah, so it's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Okay, there we go. Math is hard. And then movement speed is nerfed from her E. So Yeah, but I think Sona's still going to be in a pretty strong spot. I think Sona's one of those things that is going to be strong regardless, although she does kind of get countered by some stuff, so I don't know. You can kind of all in her a little easier, I guess. But yeah, and then they nerfed Talia's R cooldown early game, which is, yeah, early levels 1, level 2 of the ultimate. It is nerfed, the cooldown is nerfed, so yeah. And then apparently Vayne's Q, her tumble could crit or something like that. She could crit the tumble bonus damage in Vayne's base attack no longer crit independently of one another. If one crits, so does the other. So apparently, if her Q or her attack crits, which is weird because I thought her Q just added some damage to her attack, but apparently her Q is a separate attack or something. I really don't know how that works, but I don't really think this is gonna be a big deal. I saw a Vayne earlier; she felt really underwhelming, and I think if you have a Vayne player on your team, just because this changed, I think you should probably dodge, to be honest. But that's just my opinion. Yeah. So, and then Chaos Storm now only counts as returning, moves at max speed regardless of distance if Victor targets himself. Okay, I'm not really sure what that means exactly. I don't play much Victor, but I guess if you cast Chaos Storm on yourself, it moves faster. Moving towards Victor. Oh, so he has to cast it on himself, and then it moves fast. Okay, I guess that's how it works. Bladder's move speed is slowed, and then the cooldown on his W is reduced. Won't really affect Vlad that much. The reason why he's OP is not because his W cooldown or his movement speed really. The reason why he's OP is because of the fact that his Q and his E slows you, and then his Q just like, I don't know, he's just so easy to play and he's so hard to kill. And he's got so much sustain and so much damage. Like Vladimir is just insane, so not really gonna affect him much. The map no longer affects the cursor. Don't really care about that. And then Zyra, her damage from her Q got buffed. So yeah, a little more AP ratio and a little more damage. So yeah, guys, that is the patch. And also, I think they changed a couple things. Okay, they changed some stuff to the outer turrets. So they nerfed the gold by 50 gold. They buffed the health by 200. And then the fortification duration, I actually don't even know what that is. I actually don't know what fortification duration is. It says 7 minutes to 5 minutes. I think fortification is like early game towers have more... they have more damage direction or something. I have no idea, dude, honestly. Turret's first blood. In addition to normal rewards, the first turret killed yields 400... Whoa. In addition to normal rewards, the first turret killed yields 400 bonus gold to the killer's team. 275 gold split between nearby champions. Whoa, so the first turret kill is a big deal, dude. Big deal. That's insane. That's actually insane. I don't know why they did that, but that's actually insane. This is why you should read patch notes, because if you didn't read the patch notes, you wouldn't know about that, and that's huge. So, yeah. And then they added more time. If you guys didn't know this patch, or like a couple patch, I think it was last patch, they added ranked teams, and so now you can queue more times during the week. I don't know. I might actually make a ranked team just for fun, but yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to really focus on solo queue before I do that. But anyways, that's pretty much it, guys. And I'll be doing this every time they release a new patch. So let me know what you guys think. And did it help you at all? If not, then that's too bad, I guess. But if it did, that's great. And yeah, see you guys in the next video. Peace.